This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to lockdown coverage, week number 15 in the National Football League. Dolphins, Bills, AFC East, family business. You know how the family do it. And normally when it comes to Dolphins, Bills, it's all Bills all the time, especially in Buffalo. And so these two teams will meet again in week 17. Bills will definitely need that game to try to get into the postseason. I could easily see the Dolphins throwing a wrench in their plans. However, in Buffalo, the Dolphins always struggle. And usually they struggle over at home against this same Bills team as well. But nonetheless, this is a game that the Bills had to have. And it wasn't pretty at times, but it was gritty and it was a dub. They were able to force 3 interceptions of Jay Cutler, none bigger than the one after they muffed an onside kick, which gave the Dolphins an opportunity to try and tie the game up. Seemingly having this game in control, up 11 with, about a minute and a half left. Dolphins were able to get in the field goal range, get a field goal, kick an onside kick. Bills don't recover, allow the Dolphins to get the football back. And of all people, the punter ended up recovering the football on the onside kick. And so the Dolphins had one more shot. First play, Jay Cutler gets pressured, throws it up for grabs. It's picked off by Tre'Davious White, and the game is over. So Bills able to pick off Cutler 3 times, one by Sharice Wright, another by Jordan Poyer, who has been outstanding, one of the 2 safeties that you brought in free agency that has helped change the fortunes of this Bills defense, along with Tre'Davious White at the cornerback position. It's a revamped secondary that has been phenomenal at taking the football away this season. They did it again in this game with 3 more INTs, and so this Bills defense continues to be opportunistic this season. You look at the run game, it was not strong in this game for the Bills for the first time in a while. And that's why I love Tyrod Taylor, because he provides you with an outlet when the run game isn't at its best. And that's what's carried this Bills offense for the vast majority of this season is the run game. Shady McCoy, however, did eclipse 10,000 yards on the ground in this game. And so congratulations to him and the career that he's had thus far running the football. I think it's 10,000 career total yards receiving and rushing. In any event, he's been outstanding, touching the football in any capacity. And congratulations to him for having that feat established in this particular game. But it was not a great game for him on the ground. 20 carries, 50 yards, tough sledding for him. And so the slack needed to be picked up somewhere else, and that was picked up by Tyrod Taylor at the quarterback position. I thought he used his legs phenomenally in this game, escaping sacks, continuing plays, and giving this offense a chance to move the sticks and score points. His legs were outstanding in this game. He had a rush touchdown. I thought he extended a couple of plays. There was one where he was about to get sacked, eludes pressure, dances around and finds Charles Clay for a first down, finds Shady McCoy on another play similar to that one over the middle of the field for a first down to keep a drive going that they would ultimately score points on. So again, when your quarterback is making the type of plays, and I can't understand for the life of me why Bills fans don't appreciate Tyrod Taylor. No. Is he the best passer in this league? No. Is he the most prolific passer in this league? No. But he does things that most quarterbacks can't do in this league, and that's extend plays with his legs, puts pressure on the defense by using his legs, and when opportunities present themselves, he usually does a good job of finding guys and getting them the football, throws a beautiful deep ball. Right now, you don't have a receiver that stretches the field vertically that allows you to take advantage of his arm and the beautiful deep ball that he throws. You tried a deep ball to Zay Jones, he didn't separate. There was a corner right in his hip pocket able to knock the football away. So you tried one to Deontay Thompson as well. He didn't separate. There aren't a number of guys on this team that have enough speed to utilize the arm strength and the ability of Tyrod Taylor to throw the deep ball. So everything is underneath. A lot of check downs, a lot of over routes, a lot of things underneath for Tyrod Taylor. A lot of guys sitting down, a lot of stick routes over the middle of the field. But again, he's being highly accurate with the football, extending plays, moving the sticks, and giving this Bills offense a chance. That's why I could never understand, even when he was struggling, even when they were questioning whether he was the right guy for the job, you didn't have anybody better. So I could never understand why they thought it was a smart idea to go away from Tyrod Taylor. You probably would have won that Chargers game. I really fully believe that in my heart. If Tyrod Taylor would have played that game from the beginning, you would have had a shot in that game versus the Chargers. And so that could ultimately be the make or break game for you this year. You're at 8-6 with this win, 24-16 over the Dolphins. So you're in a position right now to make the postseason, but you're going to lose next week to New England, in New England. You're going to lose that game. That's going to drop you to 8-7 and most likely be your undoing. Now, here's your saving grace. The Titans are struggling. The Titans are struggling with a capital S right now. And they've got the Rams at home next week. They could easily lose that game. And if they do lose that game, they'll drop to 8-7, which will give you an opportunity to win one of those two final wild card spots. So even with the loss next week, you can go back to Miami next week and win and rebound and go to 9-7 and potentially get in. The problem there is the Dolphins will know that you need that game, and they'll be looking to spoil your season, and they'll have a great opportunity to do so. So your schedule down the stretch, not the easiest. Not like Baltimore's, where they've got 2 layups. You've got a couple of toughies that you've got to try to handle, and they're both in the division, and you know how family business goes. It's tough, it's rough, it's rugged. And you're going to have to deal with some family business to try to get in. We'll see if you're able to do so in the next couple of weeks. But that notwithstanding, a great job of taking care of the Dolphins in this particular game. When the run game was not at its best, the defense stepped up, created turnovers, and Tyrod Taylor, I thought, was at some of his best in this particular game, using his legs, creating, and again, giving this team a chance offensively. When there wasn't much there, he created for you in this football game. I thought Tyrod Taylor was outstanding in this football game. As you get to this Bills defense quickly, I've been impressed with the secondary. I talked about them being revamped and how they've been opportunistic this year, creating turnovers. You've also gotten a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. I saw number 75. I don't even know who that is, but I saw him knock the football out of Cutler's hand on one play. You did a great job of getting to Cutler, flustering him, getting him off the spot in this game, making him uncomfortable. Jerry Hughes with some pressure. There were a number of guys getting in Cutler's face and making him make some erratic throws, especially the one late in the game to force the last interception to put this game on ice. So the defense, when they're getting after the other team's quarterback, has a chance to create turnovers. But I don't love this rush defense. I think you can run on this Bills defense. And when they're not getting turnovers, you can move the football and score on this Bills defense. So I am a little worried about them stopping the run and keeping teams out of the end zone. That being said, when they're getting turnovers, when they're getting to the other team's quarterback, they are a dangerous team on the defensive side of the football. For the Dolphins, not much to like in this game, especially with the turnovers. I thought the run defense was phenomenal in this game against Shady McCoy. That's their calling card. That's their bread and butter. And you shut that down, which gave you a shot to hang around in this game. But you couldn't get Tyrod Taylor on the ground, and that was really your undoing in this football game from a defensive standpoint. Too many turnovers and mistakes by the offense. But I can tell you this, for the second time in 3 years, you've discovered a star at the running back position. Jay Ajayi a couple of years ago. Kenyon Drake is a star in this league, a budding star. He continues to be a difference maker. He showed his speed again in this game and his skills out in space. He's dynamic, and the more he touches the football, the more good things are going to happen for your offense. I thought that this was a nice game for Jarvis Landry, catching the football. You've got to find a way to get Devontae Parker more involved in this offense. There's just too much talent for this team not to be more prolific offensively, but nonetheless, you found something in Kenyon Drake, and he's going to be a problem for years to come. If he can just stay healthy, that's his thing. If he can just stay healthy, he's going to be a problem, not just as a rusher, but as a pass catcher out of the backfield. He's a difference maker for this Dolphins football team moving forward. Defensively, did some nice things. Got after Tyrod Taylor, just wasn't able to corral him and get him down, which is not an easy task in itself. But he got away too many times in this game, extended plays and made plays, not just with his legs, but with his arms as well. And so, or with his arm as well. And so that was a problem. But you did stop the run. Didn't create any turnovers, though. That would have been nice to create 1 or 2 turnovers to offset the 3 mistakes made by your offense. Would have been nice to create a turnover somewhere in there. The special teams onside kick was great to recover that, to give you a chance, but it was all for naught as the Buffalo Bills hang on 24-16 over the Dolphins. Dolphins dropped to 6-8. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills moved to 8-6 and give themselves a chance to make the playoffs. Going to be tough down the stretch with 2 games on the road in the division to finish up. We'll see what they do with those 2 roadies in the division, if they can get in the playoffs or not. Let's get to some comments quickly. Ed says, Jay Clown Cutler stinks. I did a video on that. Check that out whenever you get the time. Time to look ahead for the draft for us Dolphins fans. And if I get a chance, I definitely will check that out, Ed. Don't know your channel, though, so you're going to have to send me a link or something. William says, Bills could upset Patriots next week. Playoff implications are heavy, and the Patriots were beatable last couple of weeks. Plus, Pat's run defense is awful. McCoy and Taylor should have their way. It's possible, but it's probably not going to happen. You had your shot at home when you were holding them to field goals and you were in that ball game and you just couldn't score. That was the opportunity you had. Now, again, Pat's rush defense does stink. It is awful, and you can run the football on them. And you'll get an opportunity to do that next week with McCoy. And I also love the running back that you got from the Saints that also helps out in the backfield as well. So you'll have opportunities to run the football. And Taylor will have an opportunity to maybe extend plays. They don't have a lot of team speed on defense, so he's going to have some opportunities, but can you take advantage of those opportunities? Can you score points? Can you not settle for field goals? We're going to see. Your rush defense isn't very good, and they're going to have an opportunity. Just like they gutted you a couple of weeks ago, they're going to have a chance to gut you again on the ground. And I think they can throw the football against you as well, so we're going to see what happens in that game. Don't expect a lot from the Bills in that game, but we'll see. Again, family business is family business for a reason. These teams know each other, and the Bills will have an opportunity to make a statement in that game, but the Patriots need that game in the worst way. I can't see them laying an egg there. They're going to need it, so we'll see what happens. In any event, that's going to do it for Bills and Dolphins. Bills get the win 24-16 over the Dolphins, get to 8-6, set up a situation where they've got a massive showdown at New England at Foxborough next week to try to get to 9-6 on the season. If they win that game, they're getting in the playoffs. To me, they lose that game, I think that's going to be the one that probably puts them on thin ice as far as getting into the postseason is concerned. They still can get in even with a loss next week, but going to need a ton of help to do so if that is in fact the case. So we'll see what happens for the Bills as far as the Dolphins are concerned. Piggybacking off of that big win on Monday Night Football at home versus the Patriots, they show up in Buffalo and don't have the same intensity necessary to get it done on the road as they fall to 6-8 with a 24-16 loss at Buffalo. They'll get these same Bills in 2 weeks, however, at home with a chance to really wreck their season. We'll see what happens then as the Bills take care of business this time. More lockdown coverage to come. Don't you go anywhere. I've got plenty of action from Week 15 in the National Football League to break down. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and make that move to hit that subscribe button for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game one live feed at a time. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off, but not for long. I'll be right back. More lockdown coverage to come. Don't go anywhere.